Hello, welcome once again, everybody. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's July 25th, 2019. The show, as always, is presented to you by the Marijuana Times. Search the Marijuana Times on Google or YouTube or Vimeo or Apple Podcasts or whatever. Or go to marijuanatimes.org. If you click the video tab there, you can find this show, of course. Today, we're talking about a widening price gap between legal and illegal marijuana in Colorado. Colorado nurses who have launched a hotline for marijuana questions, and a weird story about a dispensary owner in Oklahoma who's obviously made some bad decisions. All of that's coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use banned pesticides in the state that you are growing in. Be regulatory compliant. All of that good stuff can be accomplished with Natureside, nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Go check them out. This first story by yours truly at marijuanatimes.org. There's a widening price gap between legal and illegal marijuana in Canada. According to a new report, there's roughly a $4.72 gap between the price per gram of legal marijuana versus black market marijuana in Canada. The same group looked at the issue 3 months ago, and the gap then was only $3.62. So the gap has widened another $1.10 per gram in the 3 months since this outfit looked at it. As I mentioned in the article, there's a lot of things that go into the price of marijuana. Obviously, to lower the price, lower taxes helps. Less regulation to comply with for the business, so they don't have to pass those costs on to consumers. But nothing does more to put downward pressure on prices than increasing supply. Whether it's Canada, America, wherever, whether it's a commodity or a service, it doesn't matter. The laws of supply and demand cannot be repealed. They always affect prices, no matter what industry we're talking about. So the key to lowering the price of legal marijuana is more legal marijuana supply. I don't know how many times I've said this. I'm not the only person saying it. I'm not the only person who knows about supply and demand. It's rather common knowledge, I thought. More supply relative to demand lowers prices, and that's good for consumers. And since there's more consumers than there are business owners or anyone else, that affects the most amount of people, that helps the most amount of people. If cannabis consumers spend less on their marijuana, as things stand now, if legal marijuana in Canada is much more than illegal marijuana, what is the incentive for those people to move to the legal market? There isn't any, and that's why a lot of them aren't. More legal supply. I can't make it any clearer. Yes, less taxes, less regulations, lower licensing fees, all those things are great, and all those can contribute to lower prices. But nothing's going to contribute more than allowing more supply of legal marijuana. There's plenty of supply for illegal marijuana. That's why prices are so low. But you have to do the same for legal marijuana, and it's the only way that it can undercut the illegal market. Something I've said many, many times before. I will continue to say it. Will people listen? I don't know. I can't make people listen. They'll do what they'll do. But you can't say the information is not available. And like I said, supply and demand, it's a pretty common thing. You can look it up online. Google. I'll tell you all about it. It's the next story from Westward.com. Colorado nurses launching hotline for your marijuana questions. Catherine Golden and Jennifer Axel met while working in a medical marijuana clinic in Boulder, but they took separate paths to get there. Golden's a registered nurse who used to look down on cannabis, she says, but she changed her mind after she saw how it helped her brother-in-law with cancer. That prompted her to dig into peer-reviewed research. Axel started using cannabis in the place of opioids to treat pain from a car accident 13 years ago. Both women say the credible information was hard to come by when they started their respective journeys, and they had to find their own way to research and understand the medical benefits and health effects of cannabis use. They spent several years together at Holo's Health in Boulder. They became information ambassadors in the cannabis and healthcare communities. Now they hope to reach even more people through a free hotline that connects the canna curious with registered nurses who have experience with medical marijuana. See, where's the, there we go, Leaf 411. Leaf 411, Axel and Golden want their hotline to be up front and are enlisting registered nurses with cannabis education experience to answer their phones. They expect many of their callers to be senior citizens, growing user demographic for a legal pot that's more likely to need health care and use the phone. They have to launch the hotline by September and are currently applying for funding with the state of Colorado under a provision that earmarks tens of millions of dollars in marijuana tax revenue for education and public health. They're also courting the cannabis industry for donations. Hopefully they get that started up and running relatively soon. There's something else interesting. We scroll down a little bit here. This story's much longer than I thought it was when I read it the other day. There's interesting numbers as far as, here we go. 85% of Americans rated the honesty and ethical standards of nurses as high or very high, making nursing the most trusted profession out of a list of 20 lines of work, which is another reason that these nurses thought it would be a good idea to launch this hotline that people will actually take their advice and trust what they're saying, because nursing is a very trusted profession. Doctors came in at 67%. Members of Congress came in last when it comes to honesty and ethical standards being high or very high. It's 8%. That sounds high to me, the 8%, but it is what it is. So Leaf 411, hopefully that gets up and running and get some donations and such. In Colorado, it's a good idea. I mean, people have questions, obviously. Maybe they haven't found this show yet. They're older people and they're not big on Google or the apps or whatever. They'll pick up their landline and they'll call a nurse and talk to a nurse and trust what the nurse is telling them. Anything to get more education information out there about cannabis is a good thing. Please come research, ask questions, whatever. All of the above. We welcome all of it. See, cannabis advocates have nothing to hide about the cannabis plant, its effects, what it does. We're an open book. We'll tell you whatever you want to hear. What's your question? We will tell you. We have no problem telling you and being truthful about it, because there's nothing to hide. There's never been anything to hide when it comes to cannabis. This next story from ABC News. Oklahoma marijuana dispensary owner arrested for meth sales. It's an Associated Press story. The Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics says 38-year-old Jeffrey Peregrino was arrested Wednesday at his store Left-Handed Okies in Spiro, about 165 miles east of Oklahoma City. Bureau spokesman Mark Woodward says Peregrino was arrested after twice selling methamphetamine to undercover agents inside the store. Now, unfortunately, this story lacks a lot of detail about what led this guy to this awful decision to twice sell meth to people he doesn't know inside his legal medical marijuana dispensary. There are so many bad decisions just encompassed in all that. It's mind-numbing. Online court records early Thursday don't indicate the formal charges have been filed, or they don't list an attorney. Woodward said narcotics agents had taken custody of the marijuana products inside the store and shut down the business, obviously. I don't know. I would love to know what leads someone. If I had to guess, I would say that the guy was on meth, and that's what led to the decision to sell meth to strangers inside his legal medical marijuana dispensary, where he sells marijuana legally, and that's his living, and he could obviously get his business shut down, lose his license and such, but that wasn't enough to stop him from selling meth to strangers in his store. What would lead to those type of decisions other than being on meth? I don't know. I've certainly never smoked enough marijuana or ingested enough marijuana to think that was a good idea. Sure, you want meth? Please step inside my legal medical marijuana dispensary. I will sell you meth. I don't know you, but it's fine. You seem cool. You don't look like a cop at all. Oh, someone else comes in and wants meth. A stranger. Oh, maybe it's the same guy. Well, he seems like a good chap. Let's sell him some more meth. I don't know. I mean, if it's the charges are true, the guy deserves to have his business shut down. I don't know what else to say. Horrible decision making. For the most part, Oklahoma seems like things have gone very smoothly. But not everyone is cut out for legal business, I guess. It's just whatever brought him to selling meth or brought him back to selling meth. It's a powerful thing, apparently. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the show. We're here 5 days a week at marijuanatimes.org on Cannabis News. Search Marijuana Times on YouTube. Subscribe there. Apple Podcasts to find the audio version. Thank you to Nature Side, nature-side.com, and They're Organic, all natural pesticides. Thank you all for watching, listening, sharing, commenting, liking, all that stuff. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.